Welcome. In this episode, we are going to talk about Sima Ibrahim, the founder and CEO of Exopa Model Agency, who rose to the top of the Ghanaian fashion industry, only to fall from grace as a convicted drug trafficker. So how did he go from being a celebrated fashion icon to a prisoner? And what was his life like before and after his arrest? And what really happened to him in prison where he met his untimely death? Stay with me as we unravel this tragic tale. Now, Sima was born in Ghana to a Ghanaian mother and a German father. He moved to Germany when he was 12 years old, and that's where he discovered his passion for modeling. Sima was tall and handsome. He was dark, and those are the qualities of a top male model. Anyway, so Sima started his career as a model in Germany, and it is in Germany that he launched his own modeling agency, Exopa, in the early 2000s. In 2007, Sima returned to Ghana and launched Exopa Model Agency in Accra. Then 6 months after its launch, Sima organized the Exopa Fashion Week. Now, the interesting thing with the Exopa Fashion Week was that it coincidentally was held during the Ghana at 50 celebrations. And so it got a lot of people talking about modeling and fashion again. And this is what helped to make the events significantly successful. Now, Exopa was a game changer in the Ghanaian fashion scene. It introduced innovative and exciting fashion shows such as the L Fashion Nights, which also showcased plus-size models as well as models who were less than 5 feet. You know that to be a good model, you should be 6 feet and above. So for models who were less than 5 feet, it was a big deal. Exopa also offered training and grooming services for aspiring models, and it had over 1,000 local and international registered models. We can say that Sima was the king of the fashion industry in Ghana at that time, and so many people wanted to work with him or be associated with him. Now, in 2009, Sima organized and dazzled fashion lovers with the first of its kind, a Ghana Fashion Week, which was a 3-day event and even featured Boris Kudjo. Yeah, the Hollywood star Boris Kudjo. Now, this was a spectacular event that puts Ghana on the map of the global fashion scene, if I may say. Unfortunately, Sima's success was short-lived because a month after his spectacular Ghana Fashion Week, he was arrested at the Kotoka International Airport. Now, this is how it happened. Sima was about to board a Lufthansa flight to Germany, and he was caught with 4.9 kg of cocaine hidden in 4 tubers of yam in his bag. Now, officials of the Narcotics Control Board, popularly called NACOP, had received a tip-off, and so they suspected Sima to be carrying narcotics drugs. So when they got to him, they just ordered a search on him, and then they searched his traveling bag again. And this is at the point where he was ready to check in at the departure hall. They found the yams, which had been cut open, stuffed with the cocaine, and sealed again with super glue. Sima claimed that he was innocent and that the yams were given to him by a friend of his called Salifu, who lived at Nima, to be delivered to another friend in Germany for a fee of 3,000 euros. But obviously, the officials of the Narcotics Control Board did not believe him. So they took him to his house or his residence, where they found more evidence in his kitchen. They found a bread knife and super glue, which they alleged were used to prepare the yams. Now, Sima was therefore arrested, and he was charged with 2 counts of attempting to export narcotic drugs, and unlawful possession of narcotic drugs. At the time of his arrest, he was only 39 years old. Then his trial started. It was long and controversial. It started in September 2009 and lasted until March 2011. On March 3rd, 2011, a fast-track High Court in Accra, as it then was called, presided over by Justice Charles Quist, found Sima guilty and sentenced him to 15 years in jail. When the judge read his ruling on the case, the court was filled with lots of supporters, family members, models, and other things who are closely associated with Sima. And they were all disappointed and they were sad, some were wailing. Sima, on the other hand, showed no emotion at all. Following the ruling, he was taken to the Nsawam medium security prison, where he spent the next 3 years of his life. Now, as is typical in a drug offense, Sima's properties were confiscated. But what if Sima was framed? Or what if someone wanted to ruin his reputation and career? I mean, just what if? Anyway, in July 2011, the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, with the support of Narcotics Control Board, filed a motion before another Accra High Court to sell the confiscated properties of Sima. The case was adjourned to October 2011 after Sima's counsel filed an affidavit in opposition to that motion. But as to what happened afterwards, it is not clear. I didn't get anything in my research on his properties. Anyway, Sima appealed against his motion. Sima appealed against his conviction and sentence at the Court of Appeal in Accra. And on 14th March 2013, he asked his lawyers to file that appeal. Now, Sima believed he was innocent, and so he hoped for a reversal of the verdict. Unfortunately, Sima never got the chance to prove his innocence, because before his appeal was decided on 13th, on Thursday, 14th December 2014, Sima died. Now, according to the Chief Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Prison Service at the time, DSP Eya, he confirmed that Sima was sent to the police hospital where he died. The public relations head at the police hospital, ASP Juliana Obeng, at the time also confirmed that Sima died at the police hospital between the hours of 9:30 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. However, it is alleged by Sima's family and an inmate that Sima played soccer with his colleagues in the prison yard and collided with one of the players and seriously hurt his ribs. Now, they claim that Sima complained several times to the prison officers that he's going through several severe pains, but he was ignored, with the reason that the prison had no car to carry him to an outside hospital other than the one in the prison premises. Sima carried on with the injury for days, still complaining bitterly of pains until his situation worsened. Allegedly, by the time the officers attempted organizing themselves to take him to a hospital outside for proper treatment, Sima Ibrahim had died, and not at the police hospital as the PRO of the hospital stated. Therefore, his death was as a result of the prison officer's negligence and delay in taking him to the hospital. Now, Sima was a Muslim, and by Islamic custom, he was buried He was buried a week after his death. His funeral was attended by his family, friends, fans, models, who really mourned his loss and demanded justice for him. Unfortunately, it's been a decade since his death and not much has still been heard or said. Meanwhile, Sima's son, Abu Sadiq Ibrahim, the new CEO of Exopa, has been organizing some fashion shows and events. He's making sure that his father's legacy lives on. Interestingly, in a twist of fate, the judge who sentenced Sima to 15 years in prison was later exposed as a corrupt judge. In August 2015, investigative journalist Anas Aremeyao Anas released a documentary on judicial corruption, which showed 34 justices of the High Court of Ghana taking bribes to influence their rulings. One of them was Justice Charles Quist, who was caught on tape receiving a bribe of 4,000 Ghana cedis to free a man accused of armed robbery. On 8 May 2018, the President of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, suspended four justices of the High Court, including Justice Charles Quist, following the recommendation of the Judicial Service. The suspension was based on the establishment of a prima facie case against them. Well, Sima's story is a sad and shocking one. It shows how a man can have it all and lose it all in a blink of an eye. It also raises questions about the justice system, the prison system, and even narcotics trade in Ghana. Thank you for staying with me. Join me for another interesting episode next time. And don't forget to subscribe.